And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Gonzalez family here as we celebrate 40 years of Heritage Dinner recipients with the Historical Society. One of those recipients was the Gonzalez family. Of course, we have Danielle Gonzalez. And good morning. Good morning. And Angelica Rodriguez as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right.
Doing good.
We're here. Doing good.
Enjoying. It's kind of nice having a little change of pace with the cloudy and the rain and all that good stuff. So it's kind of a nice change of pace. But it's and once for people kind of like, well, how did a whole family get kind of nominated here? And for folks that remember, it was. Is it 3 years ago? How many years ago was it? COVID has totally messed up my timeline.
Yeah, mine too. I think.
And so it was
18.
It was. Yeah, 18 sounds right. Yeah, 2018 so I think is when we honored the Gonzalez. And it was, well, right around the time David passed. Was it right after or right before?
No,
I can't.
Before.
Right before. I can't remember. And of course,
the year before.
That was kind of, if nothing else, and here's the weird part was we were, if I remember right, we were talking about your family and making them long before we knew about David and his problems and things.
Yes.
And so that was I don't know if we would call it a coincidence or it wasn't because of it. It was just it was because some people saying, oh well, he passed away. They must be no. This was in the works before that happened. But it's,
and even before too, my grandfather passed away. My grandfather was still alive, and shortly after we had the celebration and stuff, he passed away.
So that was a bit. It was almost like an important timing there for some, to get to a chance to, kind of, for some of your family members, the last, hey, here's our
celebration.
Yeah, celebration of
honoring their legacy.
Kind of a bit of a poignant timing there, a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, it's just your connection to Roswell, the family's connection, and really and I remember when we were talking to other members of your family and things like that, it was really the atypical like American dream story where your family in Mexico and all, and then they basically come here to the United States like many families looking for more opportunity and better things and really just picked themselves up by the bootstraps and planted their seed here in New Mexico and really just went on and a lot of things you see and see about this community in this area. The Gonzalez family had some relatives involved with a lot of it.
Absolutely, yep.
And so here we sit with the Heritage family. Yeah. So what was that role for you like for you guys in the family? Did that make it like you were always involved with something growing up, or I mean, was it as teenagers and everything? It's like I want to sleep in and watch cartoons.
It was kind of cool, just. Learning a little bit more about the family. I mean, we knew just from growing up all of the stories and things and how our family had started here, but just because of what was going on with the Historical Society, we were able to kind of dig a little bit deeper and kind of find out a little bit more history and, just gaining more of that pride from our family and that inspiration from my grandparents, to know what they went through, what my grandfather went through to come here, being part of the Bracero program in 52, and then deciding to be able to bring the family over here.
To explain to people what that, who are not familiar what that program is.
So the Bracero program was kind of made during World War II. There was a shortage of labor in the U.S. Okay. And so in order for us to be able to, have farm and, all of those things, they brought over individuals from Mexico to work and for a certain contract.
Well, because most fighting men were over in the war here. So the women and people from other countries were coming in and filling those voids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so he did a couple of stints of it. In that second stint, in 52, he was working out at the Haley farm, and Mr. Haley asked him, he wanted to keep him here. He was doing such a good job, with all the pecan orchards and everything in the town, and asked him if he'd like to stay on longer. But his conditions were that if he stayed on longer, he had to bring his family.
Okay.
So
to bring more help.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more just the idea of wanting him to want to be here.
Sure.
If your family's not with you, you kind of have that long.
Well, that's roots.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're a single person, you go where the wind blows you sometimes. But when you've got family with you, then I'm not.
You're a little more stable.
That anchors you a little bit to and so it's a win-win really, because I'm sure he wants his family here to be with the family.
To be with them,
and at the same time, the farm owner's kind of like, well, now I got more hands to work. I got a steady. Now I've got a little. And they're not just going to be gone in the middle of the night. They have a family now. They're here. So it was probably a win-win for both. And,
Absolutely.
And that's that's kind of how it works a lot of the time.
Yeah. And I know that the boys that are in the family, they did help out on the farm, a little, but my grandparents definitely wanted them to get an education, and do fulfill that dream that they wanted to do.
It's kind of that, like, I think it's the parental dream, and what I mean by that, where as parents, you always want better for your kids than you had for yourself, and like you said, this is your grandfather or great-grandfather? Grandfather. He's looking, and he's like, look, I don't want my kids to grow up to be farm hands. I want them to have more choices, more. And so, and obviously that begat that, and then your parents telling you guys to pursue that education. And now you see, like, well, look at David, look at, if they're, not just, stuff around town, but getting involved in government and various other entities as part of this community and things like that. That's all begotten because a farmer said, I want this my kids to get an education, and their kids got an education. That's how it all works. You know.
Now we're 4 generations strong here in Roswell and growing.
Absolutely.
And growing
even more.
Well, that's y'all's job, right? Just keep more family members there and stuff. So how much your family still lives in the area? Is it a good hunk, or are y'all pretty spread out?
The family, yeah.
Okay.
We've got a few that are in Colorado, in South Carolina.
Okay. Now, do you guys still have a family presence in Mexico? Is there part of the Gonzalez family that are still there and still get to visit or at least have contact with and stuff? COVID, a lot of people didn't go anywhere, but at least keep in touch and things like that.
During COVID, we were doing Zoom meetings with the family, and just so we could stay in touch because we were so used to going to birthday parties. You do have a pretty big family.
Probably had to be like a corporate business. All right,
yeah, pretty much that's what it was.
The monthly meeting of the Gonzalez's.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so there were several times where we were able to Zoom with family from Mexico and kind of touch.
Good deal. Did everybody fare okay and stay healthy and all that? Good. Yeah. When you get a little spread out like that, it's hard to stay in touch. And things
we
like
had,
that.
We had some of our family members get sick, but we got through it. We're strong. And here we are now.
Typically what a lot of families in the world we're dealing with right now. So let's talk now here. Like, what are you guys up to now here? I know Danielle, because Danielle is served with the Historical Society on the board. She's not officially on the board now, but she's very much active and working. She just doesn't have to come to meetings once a month.
She's still part of it, but
but she's very much part of it here. And then I know you're starting your own business and everything, but kind of give us an update on what you guys are doing and what some of the families up to.
Yeah, I'm still doing photography, and like we said, if you go to the Heritage Dinner, you'll see me out there taking pictures more than likely.
Are you still doing your graphic art stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing graphic design and farmers markets every weekend. So come out and see me.
Selling you T-shirts and things like that. Yeah. She does have some cool shirts and cool stuff and a lot of cool merchandise. And so that's that's her day job now. But I think she's just as busy doing our website and taking pictures and doing all the other things. And I imagine you do that for a couple other people too, not just for us here at the Historical.
We stay busy.
So Angelica, what are you up to? What are you doing?
So I'm still running my business, audiologist. Dr. Rodriguez Audiology.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I've talked to you before. I was like, I know I talked to you before. I was like, where did I talk to you? That's what it was. You were, audiologist. So I'm guessing there are no hard of hearing people in the family. You got them covered.
Me.
Just you. You're the one.
Well, I think there's a couple of others, but then there's a few that are in denial.
Do they?
We're working on that.
Do they hey?
Yeah.
Hook a family member up with some hearing aids here.
Hey, that's what comes with having so many family members.
That's right.
And so many businesses.
Well, then, but that's quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Like if you need some shirts on a stat, then you better,
Exactly.
But she needs a hearing device. Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So how's that going? Because you've been doing that business you've been kind of growing.
2015.
Yeah, you've been growing. And how did you fare through COVID? Did things get busier or quieter?
I think we're a little bit busier.
Okay.
Honestly, it was kind of weird.
I'm glad to
we
hear
closed
that.
down. We closed down for a couple of months. Just when everything first started. But I mean, people still needed their
People
hearing
need to
tested.
hear.
They still had issues.
Yeah,
So.
I don't look at that as a luxury. Hearing is not a luxury.
Yeah.
That's a necessity.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there are so many things that go wrong when.
Well, you just remember, like, back
affected,
at the beginning, it was like essential businesses, and I'm like, ability to hear seems pretty essential
think
to
so.
me.
Yeah.
And but I could see how business got drummed up because a lot of people were kind of cooped up together, and after a while, I was like, does this person hear anything I say? I've been yelling at them all day.
And the masks, a lot of people were like, I didn't realize that I was lip reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. Give a plug if anybody needs any audio or hearing aids, any of that kind of hearing testing,
Yeah,
any of that stuff. Give
Come
them
on over. Yeah.
What's your phone number or give an address?
So we're located on 1000 West 4th Street, and our phone number is 575-623-8474.
Yeah, come on by and
give us a call.
Guess you got like Monday through Friday office hours there, and come set up an appointment and let them take a look and find out if
Figure out
exactly
what's
where
going
you're
on,
at.
if it's just wax or you got a bigger problem.
Yeah.
And that is a legit thing. I know,
Absolutely.
this even though you make Q-tip or whatever, which I know she's like,
no
don't do that.
Q-tips. No
I know.
Q-tips.
I do it. Sorry. I can't stand wet ears.
Yeah.
Like you get out the shower, that bugs me.
Yeah.
The water in the ears,
Yeah.
it bugs
I get that.
me. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Just
Hard
be
habit.
careful. Don't go too far.
So let me ask you this. I've seen some crazy devices on like online for earwax removal. Any of those good or are they garbage too?
No.
Like there's some screwed thing. There's one that's like I got a camera that you can stick in your ear and
Just go see Angelica. Let her take care of that part.
Yeah, just come to our office. Don't try to do it yourself. I mean, I've just seen too many people who have like gone through the eardrum with the camera. So yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Good tip here. What about for you, Danielle? If anyone wants, use graphic art design or maybe because do you do like photography privately for like weddings and quinceañeras or whatever people need events for like that?
Yeah,
too?
if you want to contact me, I have my website. It's DanielleCgonzalez.com, and you can find all the information there.
Okay. And then are you doing something with the college or?
It's Angelica, yeah.
Okay, Angelica's doing that. So talk a little bit about what you got going on there.
So a few months ago, we were actually able to open up and name, well, not really open up, but we kind of named the studio, a television studio that's opening up. Out
PBS is the PBS KENW.
KENW. So KENW in Portales has been running kind of a student-run news program. That's where my dad went. That's
obviously
where he got
his background
right, exactly.
and TV and all that, sure.
Right. And so they decided that they wanted to try to open up something here in Roswell to be able to get students an opportunity to be able to do that here.
Yeah.
And so we helped.
It's overdue, by the way. That's been something we've had a long time ago. It's great to see that's finally happening.
Yep. And so we were able to kind of help them with opening that, helping them with some equipment and stuff. And so we got the opportunity to name it after him. So it's called the David Gonzalez Studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
So does that like y'all get like, hey, my name's on the door, sort of,
He's got
His name's on the door. He's got a plaque there and stuff.
That's great.
So,
Well, it's awesome that we're able to honor him. And
Absolutely.
his,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's that impact that your father had on this community is pretty. It's a pretty big footprint there,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things because we lost him kind of suddenly in here, and it's pardon the pun from the song, but you don't know what you got till it's gone sometimes, and I think we as a community learned what we lost when David we lost David. So and obviously I'm sure the family, you guys probably have had a lot of. I mean, you've had some time to heal and condolences and things, but it never
goes away.
It never
It's
goes
always,
away.
There's always going to be, especially with his grandkids. There's always going to be those moments that hit.
Sure, and especially when you're beloved or just known by a lot of people, that there's a lot of reminders, and sometimes, and I know, and I imagine, I'm just imagining, I've kind of shared some similar experiences, and that's awesome. It's a blessing, but then sometimes it's like, dang, everywhere I look, it reminds me of that, and I'm like, I need to kind of
need a moment
clear my head from that for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
but it definitely is. I mean, like you said, it definitely is a blessing. People coming up and sharing stories of things that he did or how he touched their lives, and we know how great he was, and it's cool to hear.
Sure.
How everybody.
But I also think too, because you have a a large, close-knit family, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know, big family, but it's close-knit. And that makes moments like that so much easier to navigate through and get through.
Absolutely.
It's much more fun to share success with people, and it's much easier to go through tragedy with people together.
Right, you got a lot of support.
Yeah. And a side note, the Historical Society on their website, they do have the YouTube video, the introduction, and my uncle David Gonzalez is on that video. He's
That's right. So
narrating.
you want to see a little trip down memory lane, pardon the pun here. Go check it out. If you go to roswellnmhistory.org, while you're there, go ahead and get you some tickets for the Heritage Dinner.
Yeah,
you know, the
definitely.
deadline for that's tomorrow. I'll give you the pertinent details on that here in a second. But yeah, go to the website. You can see some of the videos that the Historical Society, markets and talks about there. Like I said, there's one with David in there too. But if you're also wanting to look for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, you can get Peter Hurd prints or books from our local authors, including our John LeMay and
our family book is also
the
there.
Gonzalez family book is in there as well too.
History about us too.
There you go. That maybe make a great gift here for.
Yeah.
Is there any family members that don't have the copy of the book?
I don't think so.
I was about to
If any,
say.
we have too many.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't give them away to family members no more. It's like, sorry, you gave me that last year for Christmas.
I've actually had a couple of friends who've gone and bought the book.
That's
just to
great.
learn.
It's really nice,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's kind of cool.
You were kind of Danielle was kind of weren't you? If I remember right, when we were talking about the book, I don't know if it was by design or by default, but you kind of you were kind of the archivist for the family there for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the book is what introduced us really to the Historical Society. So what the book was, in college I had a graphic design class. And so we were told to, we need you guys to put together a book. So that was our final project.
And so you said, well, I got my family. They're a perfect subject for a book.
And really all the credit goes to, my uncle Isidro. So the story behind the book is that he did interviews with our great-grandmother, our grandmother, and our grandfather, and he did audio interviews with them.
Okay.
So he transcribed those into text. And so we had those, in our family archives. And so I decided to use that as the base of the book.
Gotcha.
And so I just did all the graphic design. I put together the text and added photos, and that's.
And if I remember right, like the family helped with the stories, and as far as you documenting them, but you getting the versions was from. Now I'm kind of curious. Did you get like 3 different versions of the same story from 3 different family members?
Well, when my uncle did the interviews, he did them probably. I think the one of my great grandmother was done in like 1984.
Okay.
So then he did. There was time between, so you can get the different perspectives from each family member, and it really is interesting to see, how they thought, how they felt about it. You know?
That's. To me, that's one of the coolest aspects is when you have one incident and then you get 3 different people that experience it from their viewpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you get the story, and sometimes it's a different story altogether. And to me, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I love, it's like getting a group of people. It's kind of like that daisy chain game when you're kids and you start with a sentence, and by the time I got to the end of the line, it's nothing different. But I love that kind of stuff. So I didn't know, especially with family and like the fish stories where, he got chased by a bear and it was actually a cub, but by the time everyone knows the story, it's a pack of grizzly bears,
Yes.
But now how often as a family do you get I know you're talking like you're Zooming during COVID and stuff, but do you guys get together and like, the ones from Colorado and all over get to come, maybe even from Mexico come up and visit, or y'all go down to Mexico and visit? Or
we normally get together. So we did start kind of like a non-official reunion during 4th of July.
Okay.
So we used to always get together and do the alien chase. And so actually now in November, we do have a memorial.
A memorial run for my dad. So we kind of are in conjunction with the turkey trot. And so it's a 1 mile right before that, just kind of warm you up, more memorial walk for my dad.
Oh, cool.
In November,
Every November.
I know I'm jumping, I'm hearing back and forth, but the studio that they have in his name and all that, I know it's for the PBS station and obviously for the students there, but do you know, is that something that the public can rent and use for if they need, or is that strictly for class?
So from my
stuff?
understanding, they have allowed, or their plan is to allow for other organizations to come in and utilize the board and stuff. So
I knew they
It's
have
fairly
it
new,
there, and I
so-
knew like I think they're kind of trying to conceptualize totally what they want to do with it. They know
Right.
they need it, but how much can we do with it?
right, how much can they let it out, and how much where they're
I would
using it, all
love
that
them to
stuff.
see if they actually do a local PBS show out of that thing.
Yeah,
You know, who,
yeah.
the next Bob
Yeah.
Ross or Julia Child or something.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. And that's my husband and I, Jacob. Jacob is broadcast journalism major as well, or communications major, and so he played a really big part in getting that to happen. And he's friends with some of the individuals over at KNW. And so, he and I were talking about that we would really love to be involved in that and really love to see a local news kind of develop here because, we really need that. We really need that here again.
I mean, I moved here in 2000, and around that time we still had the Roswell. I think it was KBIM TVM News with
Kim
Steckline. Yeah, she's right downstairs down, building over, next building over here. Yeah. And they did, and then they eventually got rid of that newscast and it all went Albuquerque. But you're right. I've missed that Roswell newscast where it was just for, Chavez County or this part of the state.
New Mexico, yeah.
This part of the state. I remember my wife. This was back when she bought a taser, right?
Oh,
we
love a good story that starts with the taser.
She bought a taser, but she bought it from this company, and it was kind of like a Mary Kay deal where you're like, hey, be an agent, we'll give you the bag, and if you tell your friends, and if you sell a taser, they get a discount and all. So she kind of was doing like Mary Kay of tasing for a minute, but she really just wanted a taser, right? So she actually went to the KBAM studio up there, and I'm not sure who interviewed her ever, but she did a whole demonstration on the taser and how it worked, and she shot it into a pillow or something. I don't remember. But yeah, they did a whole news segment for the local news there with my wife, and this was many moons ago. But yeah, it was. I thought that was always cool that they did that kind of stuff in there. So maybe we can get some of that coming out of the
that's the hope. That's
the
my goal.
KNW studio here, and. Is it pretty state of the art and all that, or is it?
The equipment that they have is right now they've kind of just got a room that we're developing and we're kind of building up into what one would think of as a studio.
Sure. And it's
it's a work in progress.
It's like a lot of other industries and technologies here. How TV or radio, for that matter, was done 15, 20 years ago is night and day different than how it's done today.
Absolutely.
It's always changing.
Yeah. My dad had always talked about that. He did he did an interview several years ago too, because he started a Spanish variety hour called Cultura. Okay. It was the longer name, and I'm not even going to try to say it now because
we get the point.
But exactly. But he talked about that, about how the things that they had to do to get that show running, the hours that they put into that. Now the kids that are running shows do it in like a third of the time, and they're like, if we only had that stuff,
right? Well, radio's the same way because like making commercials and stuff. Now it's all done on computers digitally and everything, but back in the day, you had to record that on a little reel-to-reel tape, and if you messed up, you had to cut and splice, and so it was a nightmare. And now it's just point and click.
Yeah, point and click. I didn't mean to delete that.
We're in the age of TikTok. So. Could you imagine the things they could have done?
Well, I guess what's next? Are we just going to think the changes or something now? What's like the next? I guess, or robots will do it all, one or the other. So whatever it is, But folks, we would love to have you come celebrate with us. Not only the Gonzalez family, but 39 other years of Heritage Dinner recipients here. Like matter of fact, if you missed the interviews I had yesterday in the 9:00 hour today. I'm going to replay our interviews with Tommy Jordan Jr. Tommy was a member of the Lions Hondo Little League World Series championship baseball team, and we've actually talked to him a couple times. He's a great guy, but we talked with him yesterday, and then we also talked with Jim Gill from the Gill family. Roswell Seed, they won the Heritage, they were awarded the Heritage Dinner back in '98, I believe. Wow. So, of course, the Gill family and Roswell Seed. I don't know. I don't think Roswell would look the same without a Roswell Seed. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Like, as much as Roswell looked different without the Gonzalez family, I would all say that equally as different if we didn't have the Gill family and Roswell Seed here.
Right,
it's kind of not even for the fact that they just sell seed and all that, because that's their bread and butter and that's what they do. But at the end of the day, they do so much for the community through that. And,
Right.
you know, I know how many times the Gill family people come in, hey, can you help our organization? Yeah, here you go. Here you go. And they don't do it looking for advertisement.
Right.
You know, it's like, hey, I don't care. Just take the money. You do what you
Putting
need
it
to
back
do
into
with
the
it.
community.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
mention our
awesome.
name, don't mention it, whatever. You know,
That's
I'm glad to
awesome.
help. That's kind of how they are.
Yeah.
So kind of probably sounds a lot like, you know, very similar things here with your family, their
Yeah.
family. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, let's just get it done here and help people.
I think that's kind of, it seems like that's a criteria to have been a part of the Historical Society
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you want to give back to your community.
I think so.
You know,
I think so. And
all of these recipients of,
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
if you look
yeah.
at the list, and which I don't think it's on the website, but I know when you get your packets and if you get through, it's going to be all through there. And just look, it's a who's who of people and organizations over the years that Roswell and Southeast New Mexico. I say Roswell, and it's really more than Roswell, Southeast New Mexico. Call home and what they do here. So it's really cool. So I'd love for folks to come and enjoy a meal with us. We're going to have a little video presentation that'll be put up online, on Facebook and all that good stuff here. The night of next Thursday, which, golly, it's next Thursday.
Wow.
Next
it's
Thursday.
going to be here before you know it.
But we've once again partnered up with Peppers for a delicious meal, box for two. Now, tomorrow is our extended deadline for ordering a meal, and we can't extend it any past tomorrow. So if you want to get a box or a bundle, get her done before the end of business tomorrow, because we can't. Adam will wring our necks individually, every single one of us, if we do this. But you can call the Historical Society at 575-622-8333, or go online at roswellnmhistory.org, and then you can see the videos that Danielle was talking about, and see the books and see some of the other stuff there. Or shoot an email to Amy. That'll work too. historydirector@outlook.com. Shoot her an email. She'll make sure you get a reservation for the event. Cost is $100, and that serves a box dinner for two. Or you can get our what would be like a table if we had an actual sit-down
event.
dinner thing, but it's our bundle. And that actually comes with 10 meals. So it serves, it's 5 boxes, serves 10 people. And it's Adam's Delicious Peppers food. I will read the menu because I know a lot of people like me, it's like, yeah, I want that. But so they're serving everybody shrimp appetizer for two, and if history serves, shrimp are pretty big. Those shrimp they're worth fighting over. Just saying.
You can share it. It'll be fun.
Right. One beef entree, which is a braised beef tips, a chicken entree, which is going to be a spinach and artichoke grilled chicken, and then both entrees come with a red new mashed potatoes, summer squash medley, rolls, butter, and whatever delicious concoction of dessert Adam decides to give us on. It's I think it's whatever he feels like that day or whatever. It's always good, whatever it is. So, now if you get the bundle, that comes that comes with the meal for 10, but you also get like a nice centerpiece, a little swag bag or gift bag. And then they'll also, delivery is included in that. They'll deliver. And here's the thing. We'll, like, if you're all 5 boxes aren't going to one place, no problem. We can take, like, say if you want to buy it for your business and treat your employees or nonprofit or do something like that, or just pay it forward to someone. Hey, I want to buy a bundle, give a box to these 5 people. We can do that for you. No problem. Be happy to do that.
Very
By the way, if you'd like just the single $100 bundle box delivered, we can do that for you too for an additional $10. We'll be happy to take it anywhere locally. We're not going to Texas with these, but
It won't make it in
You
time.
can't go to Colorado. Take it to your family.
I'll get hungry
The
on the
driver
way.
will eat it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, I got halfway to Lubbock, and then your chicken entree is gone. I'm sorry.
It was good. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to add, if you want to still participate, say you don't want to buy dinner, you can always do donation online.
Absolutely.
Show up in person. I'm sure they don't mind.
If you're like, I can't afford $100, but here's $20. You know what? Thank
Anything
you.
is good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If it's $2, $1, whatever it is, change. Bring your change. Loose change. Come on down. We're collecting loose change still.
Yep.
I know our last drive-through event here, I spent a good hunk of time just collecting like Ziploc bags full of coins and just dropping them into our piggy banks. It's kind of cathartic actually after a while of doing it. But it's so we love to see you do that kind of stuff. And of course another way of support is get some gifts for yourself and others by shopping, buying those books, those Peter Herd prints, or becoming a member. You can do that as well. You can, I think, as little as $35 for an individual, but you can do as a couple or a corporate sponsorship. And then, and this is getting popular. So if you've got this one, you might want to plan ahead. But our archives facility is available for rental there. It's a great little facility.
Absolutely,
You could probably get, I think the fire marshal code's like 75, and then, but it's got a full kitchen, and it's, of course, our archives. So there's a lot of cool,
cool pictures,
cool pictures and decor. But
we've used it a couple of times for like business functions or even like training. There's 6 of us in the office, and to just be, just the atmosphere within the building itself, it's really kind of
perfect
cool.
little size for that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
it's a great building.
So if you wanted to, or they even do small wedding receptions and things like that, birthday parties and family reunions and all kind of stuff in there. So
and Amy will definitely take care of you. I will tell you that she does awesome.
Amy just. I think she just looks for things to give to people. So she's so generous in giving things. She's so nice. It's like she feels obligated to give her. It's like, you don't have to give everybody everything. I think they're just cool with what's coming. But she's like that. She loves to give and give. But please, you've got till tomorrow to order your meals. Either call or come by. And I know people are like, well, you do a lot of fundraising. Well, that's a bit expensive. It's expensive. That house. It's a beautiful home. It's a treasure that we love, and we're glad that we have in this community. But it takes a lot of money and a lot of work to make sure that thing will be around for your kids and your grandkids' kids and all that kind of thing. So that's why we're doing this. This is what it's all about. So so we're raising that money to just keep. It's not a roof, it's a foundation. If it's not a foundation, it's a window. If it's not a window, it's the yard, the landscaping, or it's something. There's always something that it's the coach house. It's something, it's always something on the mend here. So we this is why we do what we do. So thank you for supporting that, and thank you. Come on out, and like I said, when you come out to get your meals on next Thursday, you'll get your reservation. You'll come to the Historical Society between 5:30 and 6:30. You'll go through our little I'm gonna say gauntlet, but just a little line you go through there, and you'll get your meal ticket passes. Get a chance to buy some 50/50 tickets. Part of Hot Club on the Pecos will be there performing.
They're great.
Yes, and so you get a little music, setting the tone, and then you take your pass like 2 blocks up the street to Pepper's. There, you hand them that. You'll get in line. You hand them that ticket. They hand you a delicious food, and you go home and enjoy and hopefully tune into. I don't know if it'll be on our Talk FM one. I think it'll be on the Historical Society's Facebook and all that. Just a short little video presentation. Probably take just a couple minutes for folks to kind of just remind you on some of the people we're honoring here and some of that kind of stuff, and thanking some people.
Yeah.
Right.
But and then of course, so as far as anything, one more time, plugs. I know you got your graphic art, you got your audiology business. Anything else we want to let the public know about that you guys are into, or want to, get people to come check out?
I think the list is way too many.
Yeah, I know.
We have a lot of family members.
We'll have to bring you back, and then we'll get you.
Just always look out for their Gonzalez name, and it'll probably be one of us.
Hey, maybe we start a radio segment like once a month. We'll say Gonzalez of the month, and we bring one in and they talk about what they got going on right now.
We got lots of airtime for you.
There you go. Fill in lots of segments.
Good content.
Is there anything you guys wanted to mention that I skipped or spaced over or didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think you've touched everything that I was kind of.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Thank you guys, and thank you family, thank everybody, and from your grandfathers, and great grandfather, and everybody that they brought. It's what your family and the impact and just what I can't imagine a community without your family here, and this community would look a lot different, I think. And or wonder, would someone else fill in that void if it wasn't the Gonzalez? I'd hope so, but you don't know.
Thankfully,
we still, there's still generations coming. It's never too late to turn something around.
Yeah,
step in. Volunteer.
I noticed, there's a lot. Is there just a general creative gene in your family? Because I know, like your graphic design, David with his work here now, even with the audiology and stuff. There's a lot of fun. I mean, is that kind of a theme with the family? A lot of creative people in the family.
We have a lot of artists. I mean,
the historian with your uncle. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of that interest in that in that side. With
we
your
have
family.
a little bit of everything. We've got a lot of family members who are teachers. We've got a lawyer. We've got a physical
they cover the
therapist.
gamut. You got
we've got
healthcare.
We've got
Okay.
Yeah.
we're all creative in our own
Nice.
unique
Avenues
ways.
and-
Good
Yeah,
deal.
absolutely.
I was just noticing a trend. It was like a lot of creative side of thing, but
We all see an avenue and we're like, okay, how can we make that
course,
better?
yeah.
What do we need to do? And
of course you're in the more healthcare side, so that you've got in the battle you've got some support as far as numbers on the Gonzalez family and
Oh, yeah.
healthcare versus the creative ones. Good deal. Well, thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. We
And
appreciate
thank you, and thank your family for all they just being them and. Come on out, everybody. Come
definitely
celebrate
come
with
support
us.
the
Come
Historical Society.
Come and check out, check out the book. Because you can still get a copy of the Gonzalez family book through our website. If you're like, I want to learn more
I'm
about this
interested
family,
about
come get
that,
the
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Come read it for
And
yourself.
the title is Never Forget Where You Came From.
There you go.
So I can't say
and
it
and is it available other places too, or just
Right now, just at the Historical
site?
Society. Yeah, so give them a call, and if if anything, they'll reach out to me. So
Good
or
deal.
reach out to a Gonzalez family member and we can get one for you.
find one on the street and just say, hey.
So I gotta. Ooh, it's just all time. If someone requested an autograph copy, who's the signer? Is that Danielle or do you?
we'll make
It
her
would
sign
be
it.
me and my uncle Isidro.
Okay, very good. I didn't know
make
if
them
you
sign
had to
it. There
take
you
a order
If you
on
want
that.
one from every Gonzalez family member, that
it'll be
might
a
cost you.
while. Yeah.
And might take a while.
I'll get back to you.
It's got to get some frequent flyer miles first before it does that. So, well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. It's 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Rouse